associate at Finalto. I've been here for 6 months. My primary day-to-day activities basically involve helping the clients become from prospective clients to new clients, and basically providing a buffer between like the sales and the client services team, and making sure the clients pass like all the appropriate tests, including screening, documentation verification, and also answering any queries that the clients may have and helping them maintain the relationship that the clients have with Finalto. I did French and Chinese when I was at university, and that also involved me studying in China, in Beijing, and I was really keen to maintain like my language ability, proficiency. So previously, when I've ever had like a role in KYC or AML related roles, it's always been like Chinese related, but I suppose what I did was I used that experience and built it up in like the AML KYC field and landed this role. And even though we do have like a lot of like Singapore, Hong Kong, Chinese clients, it's more of like a general role. Yeah, I suppose I've always had sort of like an interest in like global landscape, current events, and I can use some of that interest in like the role that I'm doing at the moment. 我是筛选的工作人员，所以是比较复杂，可是这是我的工作。Sport, I'm going to immediately be drawn to saying sport. There's pretty much no sport that I probably wouldn't be interested in. Can be anything from football, cricket, tennis, darts, snooker. Yeah, always been like completely fascinated with sports, playing, watching. Hopefully not a boring alpha male wannabe answer, but yeah, that's immediately like the what I'm drawn to saying is going to be sport. The romantic answer would be the role is important because I suppose it will have like a wider effect on society. If every company was lacking in AML, KYC related standards, then we would just be inviting more corruption, fraud, criminal activity like into our society. So really through like regulatory standards, it's really important that we have such standards and such criteria. Otherwise, our social standards would slip on a much wider basis, and enjoy the attention to detail. I enjoy the responsibility, I enjoy the decision making, I enjoy working in a team, and I also enjoy working in London. I think London's a brilliant place to work. So I think that's what drew me to the role. Typically we have a meeting in the morning. It's important that we have the meeting so we can structure the day, so we know who's responsible for what, and we can keep each other updated like throughout the day. And because there's a team of like 5 of us, including a colleague of ours who works in like Singapore, so we structure the day like in the morning. Then during the day it'll be a mix of responding to clients' emails and queries, as well as onboarding the clients internally and writing reports, communicating with the compliance team, and also a lot of administration that will go into it as well. But yeah, it's got to be done, and hopefully that pretty much keeps me busy throughout the day. I suppose that sense of achievement from a client being a prospect to actually being onboarded with us being a new client, I suppose once that's all done and sometimes the client says thank you. There are so many instances where not every client is going to be ideal to be onboarded with like Finalto, so identifying any issues through screening or through research, I actually find that sort of enjoyable in the sense that it's investigative, so it's interesting and you never know what you're going to find. So yeah, I enjoy the fact that I suppose every day brings a new challenge. You know, I think there's a really good sense of community here. Everyone's very nice to each other. Everyone seems to be sort of like striding towards like the same goal of making sure that Finalto is like a good place to work. There is a pretty sort of like high standard of work that's here at Finalto. I think the standards are pretty high, so it keeps you on your toes like every day. There's no sort of like room for letting standards slip. You do have to be alert all the time, and like I said, like having a new challenge every day, but also making sure that you're on your toes every day. I think that's it's motivating, and it's sort of it's healthy, I think, really. I shouldn't have used the Chinese one. I should have said the Chinese one earlier. I'm learning Russian at the moment. Why am I learning Russian? Not particularly because I want to go to a Russian-speaking country at the moment. I suppose the reason why I wanted to do languages is because I wanted to communicate with much of the world as possible, and I feel like Russian would encapsulate quite a lot of the global population. So yeah, that's why I'm learning Russian, and possibly in the future maybe explore some sort of communicative skills with people who speak Russian in the future.